Hello, my name is Andy Williams, and I'm running as a Green Party candidate in Illinois' 5th U.S. Congressional District. Now, my background strongly affects my views on how we can fix our current system of government. See, my father was a lobbyist for a health insurance company. So most people believe that if only we can elect the right people, then meaningful change will occur. Well, I don't agree. I think it's the system. Now, as things currently stand, the most important thing to getting elected is campaign finance, is getting enough money to run a meaningful campaign. Well, inevitably, when money is given, there's strings attached. The more money, more strings. And it gets to the point where our government's just a puppet on the strings to someone else's designs. Now, the larger the office, the more money a candidate will need, the more obedient they will be to lobbying groups. Now, I don't think it's any coincidence that the Senate version of the healthcare bill started and ended in a more compromised position than the House version of the healthcare bill. So, and often, just the threat that a lobbying group will give money to an opponent is strong enough to cause a politician to soften his stance or completely change his stance. Politicians are just people, and they want to keep their jobs. And as long as we continue to reward the people that accept the most money, election cycle after election cycle, I don't see how we can blame them. Now, what I was trying to do is run a campaign counter to this sort of thought. I was trying to run a campaign without accepting any donations at all, not a dime from anyone. And I was trying to show that, maybe people prefer something different. So, but even if, by some miracle, Congress passes a law on campaign finance reform that's meaningful, the Supreme Court has already shown that it will strike down these laws, citing freedom of speech for giving money to campaigns. So, with this in mind, the change has got to come from the bottom up. So, now if we look at things that have just happened in the recent past, now you have the Copenhagen talks on climate change, completely fizzled. Nothing meaningful happened. And then there were the bailouts. Most of the money went to the rich, the billionaires, and the rest of us, the 99% of the rest of us, didn't get much, really. Now, and then there's healthcare. Now, all these things have been strongly affected by campaign finance and donations. Now, with healthcare, what you see is a majority of the population, a vast majority of the population, supporting a very strong change to the way things currently are. Now, we're not seeing strong changes coming out of there. Like, something like extending Medicare to cover everyone, which would be something that I would be for. You don't see that being seriously discussed in Congress at all. Now, we all know why, but it's just a shame that the government will start on a position radically different than the rest of the population. By definition, they're radical, and become more radical as they go along, even discarding the public option. Now, as I said, I think change has to come from below. You should get involved. Everyone should get involved. Now, if you completely disagree with me and everything I said, that's fine. Do campaign, work for the things that you think are important, because change has to come from you. Now, just let me give you an example. When my grandma started teaching, she was a young teacher, she got married, and the principal told her that to leave. He tried to fire her because they had a policy at that school that married women cannot teach. And so her reaction was just very simple. She said no. She said, no, you can't fire me. No, I won't leave. And so the school went back and reconsidered their position, and they changed their position so that, married women could work at the school. Now, this was just the time of my grandmother. And we forget how quickly things change. It's such a short time in the past. And if we forget how quickly things have changed in the past, we won't realize how much of an effect, how quickly we can change things in the future. And so please get involved. Do what you can. Thank you.